Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. This is Engineer's Guide. Let me take you through to the fire pump system. This is a complete fire pump set, and this comprises of the jockey pump, the electric pump, and the diesel pump. So this is actually the fire pump room. So starting from the door frame, and from this side you could just see the overview of whatever that it is in the fire pump room, right? Okay, so we are going to go through all these. Okay, so that is it. This is actually a typical fire pump room, which is really spacious, and the ventilation is it's very good. You could see there is an exhaust fan that is here also as well, and I'm going to take you through by the end of this teaching. All right, so first and foremost, let us describe the components that we have in here. So you could see that these are what we call controllers. All right, now looking on this is actually a Tornatech controller. So you could see from here is diesel panel controller, and this is actually controlling the diesel engine. All right, so it's as simple as that. And what you see here is the electrical pump controller, and this is the one that is controlling the electrical driven main pump. All right, and when you look up here also, you could see the jockey panel, which is also controlling the black pump there, that is the jockey. All right, so this is actually the jockey. All right, so we are going to also talk about its functions and what they do and how they work also as well. So I believe you can see the valves that we have here. This is what we call the OS and Y gate valve. For example, this has been tagged, okay, normally open. It is really necessary to just do all this tagging. All right, so then anybody who enters in here that would want to try to shut off something would know that this is actually normally open, and it has to be open at all the time. All right, so just close to the OS and Y valve is what we call the temper switch. Okay, this is actually a system sensor temper switch. So what is the work of the temper switch? Now that this is normally open, now it has been wired and connected to, so then if anybody tampers with it, anybody tries to close it, it's going to give a signal to the fire alarm panel. So just far away you could see the fire alarm modules there, and that is it. So anything that you touch here, it's going to be indicated there, and it will be sent to the fire panel also as well. So always be careful whenever you are in a fire pump room. All right, and from here also you could see the flow meter. This is actually used in measuring the flow of the pump. This pump is actually 750 GPM, and every flow meter has to be like 2 times the flow meter. So the gauge has to be, so 750 GPM, it means to say we need to have like 1500. Okay, so it's 1500 GPM flow meter. All right, so and every pump room has to have labels so that it is easy to identify. So you could see a delivery header, you could see also a test line here. All right, and you can also see arrows also as well, pointing to directions of the flow. So you can also see here the suction header. Okay, the suction header goes other ways because it's coming from that side and going this side and entering into, this is the jockey's line, this is the electric, and that is for the diesel. All right. So, and from here also you can see that we have batteries also here. This batteries, it's used by the diesel engine as a standby means to run in case there is power shutdown. This battery is the one that is going to sustain the diesel engine to run. So even if there is no electricity, the diesel engine has the capacity to also run on batteries also as well. That's why mostly we call it the standby pump. All right. So from here we will start from the Jockey pump. Actually, the Jockey pump itself is what also we call the booster pump. You could see the pressure that is in there is 132 and it's stable. All right. This is the main discharge valve. Main discharge valve, now it's in open condition. So with this description, you can see that the valve is open. When it's closed, that thread there wouldn't be there. It will just go inside. All right. What the Jockey pump does is, as the other name called the booster pump, holds the pressure in the system stabilized. All right. So in case there is any pressure drop, the Jockey pump is the first to respond by pressurizing the system. So mostly we make it auto starts and auto stop. All right. This is the function of the Jockey. It auto starts and auto stops to maintain pressure in the system. So now that the system is stabilized, this is what every engineer, this is what every technician, this is what every firefighter wants. All right. There is no leakage, there is nothing, everything is just going on well. You could find sometimes you go into a fire pump room and within 5 seconds, within 10 seconds, within 1 minute, 2 minutes, and the Jockey pump is going to be running. All right. This is the fear of what people mostly don't like, especially looking for leakages that can't be found. All right. So then if your Jockey can stand or your system is stable for like this long, then it's a good thing. All right. So the Jockey will be the one that is holding the pressure in the system, and it has its isolator switch separate. All right. So this is the isolator switch for the Jockey. Okay, this is this power supply isolations. So when I will turn this one off, the Jockey is going to go off. Now the system is in auto condition. All right, you can see from here we have the auto, the off, and the hand mode. Okay, and this is also the electric. Now it's off. All right, because I will just put it on. So this is the inside part. This is actually a Tornatech electric controller. All right, it's star delta. Using it has 3 contactors. We have the isolation switch, the circuit breaker also as well. We have, it consists also of the relays. There is a transformer, there is a motherboard, and this is actually the display board also as well. We have a surge arrestor also in there. So the components are not all that plenty, and mostly this is electronics. So if there is any fault, if there is any problem, it's mostly easy to find. And most people would like to just go by replacement. Okay, so if they find something that is not working properly, it's a burn or something, they would just go in for replacement. And I believe there are spare parts also as well, that even if you need, you can just contact, and we can just help you out also on that. All right, from the right source, that is from Tornatech also as well. All right. So secondly, the electric fire pump. Now let's look at the pressure charts here. The pressure charts that we have 110, the jockey pump is going to start at 110 psi and stop at 120 psi. All right, the electric motor driven also start at 100 and manually stops, and diesel engine driven standby pump also 95 psi and manual stop. So the manual stop means to say that you have to put it off by your own self. It is not about the system going off by itself. So let's confirm from this. So you could see from here that the start pressure is 95, the stop is 120, and you can see it's automatic controller. All right, means to say it's gonna auto start by itself when the pressure is 95 psi or less. All right, and manual stop means to say when it runs, you have to come and switch it off by yourself. It will not stop automatically. But by programming, if I would make the manual shutdown to be automatic shutdown, then it means to say it will stop by itself. Also the same thing to the electric also, right? And this is actually the diesel controller. It has two chargers to charge the batteries. So the batteries there are being charged from time to time. Okay, these are the wire, and it also has a motherboard with its circuit breakers, and we have the display here, all right, with the charger. Okay, and that is it. And from here we have the pressure transducers. Okay, so the electric has a pressure transducer which is connected to the sensing line. The diesel also has a pressure transducer which is also connected to the sensing line. The sensing line actually comes, now you could see that is the sensing line moving up, okay, then directed towards the individual pumps. So you could see this sensing line is connected here. Attached to it is a pressure gauge that is showing the pressure. Okay. Also there, also as well, the sensing line of the diesel is connected, and that of the diesel of the jockey is also here with its pressure gauge individually. So this pump room has been made to the extent that even if you close a valve somewhere, you can also individually you can get the different pressures. All right, and also you have to always make sure that your system is always calibrated. So from here, let's see if it's calibrated. Okay, so we have up to 2nd July 2026. Okay, so the pressure gauges are all good. They are in a calibrated condition, and this is really good. Okay, so this is actually also the diesel engine. So during maintenance, what actually we do here now is to check the coolant that is in here. The first and foremost one is the cleanliness of the fire pump room. The fire pump room has to be clean from debris. All right, it always has to be clean. Okay, so you could see from here that it's cleaned. All right, and this is the diesel engine. We will check also the engine oil also as well. Clean the parts, check for leakages. Also from the pump side, we will check if the parking is leaking or not. And during running time also as well, we will also just check for the leakages also as well. All right, so in the startup of the pump, we have something we call the water tank, fire water tank. This is actually the fire water tank. Okay, so let me take you to the fire water tank. Wait, one. Yeah, this is the fire water tank. Okay, so it's connected here directly to the fire pump room. Now these are the pipes. You see the direction. Okay, so this is actually the fire water tank. The capacity of the water tank is 22,500 US gallon. Okay, and it's two. One is there and one is here, and you can see the circulation valve. This is actually opened and they are circulating, so they will maintain the same water level. Okay, and that is the gate valve for the water tank 1, tank 2, and this is water tank 1. Okay, this is so water will flow from there up to here, then it will go directly to the water pump room. Okay, so let's go there. So now from here you could see that water is being supplied directly here, and the jockey pump is having a strainer. Then it has a gate valve which is normally open. Then from here it comes to the suction part of the pump, and the pump is going to pump it through the check valve to the sensing line, and through from this part to this another gate valve and to the delivery header. Okay, the same thing also the electric, it will just take from here. This is actually the valve for the electric. Okay, then to the suction, and it will be discharged. This is the discharge part. Okay, and on top of this fire pump, electric pump, we have air release, which is connected directly to drain also as well. Mainly the purpose of it is to release the air. Sometimes when it becomes faulty, water is going to come out, so then the water has to go to the drain also as well, and it's required that you always have to connect it back to the drain. All right, so you could see now when water is being discharged, it's going to go through this to the sensing line, from the check valve to the sensing line, then from the sensing line to this gate valve. From this gate valve, it's connected directly. You can see that the joints are even welded also as well. Most of the parts are welded, so you can see. All right, this is actually good. If all things being equal, it's the best. All right, but the thing is, when you are doing replacement, that is when you have to carry more loads, because all the parts has been welded together and it's massive, right? Okay, so the same thing also for the diesel. So let's look at the diesel controller. The diesel also has its suction coming directly there, and the water is being directed up there to the sensor line, to the gate valve, to the main discharge header. All right, now that the pressures has been set, if there is any pressure drop in the system, the first response machine or pump is the jockey pump. Okay, it will respond first, but if it cannot hold the pressure and its pressure drops up to 100 psi, that is when the electric pump is going to run. And if this cannot also attain the pressure in the system also as well, the diesel is going to run by 95 psi also as well, as I explained before. And all the pumps except the jockey has a suction gauge and a discharge gauge. Okay, we call it a compound gauge to measure the suction pressure also as well. It's a requirement and it's measured also. And with that, if the pressure that is coming from the suction is below -3 psi, -3, it will be said that your flow of water into the pump is not good. Okay, so you always have to make sure that you have a good flow from your suction also as well. And the discharge also, we have a discharge pressure gauge that is here. We have this discharge pressure gauge, and you know, this discharge pressure gauge will always have a pressure 0. It works only when it is running. Okay, so someone may ask, why do I have or is it not working? It's working actually. Now you could see that here there's a check valve here which is holding the pressure inside the system, and from here there is nothing like that. Okay, so the water that is here can even just be reversed back. Okay, so there will be water in the system, all right, but it's not pressurized. Okay, it's a normal pressure. The same thing also, the diesel also has a suction pressure gauge. So this is the suction pressure gauge actually. It have a minus pressure gauge here, all right, and the discharge pressure gauge also is there also as well. Okay, and in labelings we make sure that these valves will be labeled together as in accordance to the systems that we have. So for example, if I will tamper with this gate valve, it has to give an indication like electric suction gate valve. Okay, then it will just give that signal as supervisory or trouble that somebody has tampered with it. Okay, the same thing, diesel suction, and we have the discharge. This is actually the test line, okay, and this one here is the electric's discharge gate valve also as well. Okay, so whenever that the pressure goes down, the jockey will start and this will follow, and the diesel also is going to follow as well. But in case there is a power loss and there is no any standby generator, these two, that is the electric and the jockey, because they are three-phase and they are using power supply for their work, this is the only option, the diesel, because it has a standby battery. But that time this has to be able to sustain. That is why the battery calculations comes in as per how long that it can stand to just do the pressurization also as well, or to hold the system in place in case. And here also you can see we have an exhaust fan which is also connected to the diesel also as well. So immediately the diesel runs, the exhaust fan which has been connected here is going to also run to just keep the room in a conducive way, because this actually brings heat whenever it runs. All right, and mainly what happens is this actually is supposed to be cladded. Okay, like what has been done up there supposed to be in cladded, so we will just request for cladding, so to just reduce the heat that is inside the room. Okay, all right, so what else can we just talk about here? So in switching on the system, okay, now that we're done, we will just make the system normal. Okay, we have videos of testing of the fire pumps already. So this is actually the isolation switch, so I will just make it with a sound. Okay, so now that it's loading, but you can see that the pressure is 135 psi already, and the start pressure here is supposed to be 100. Okay, the start of electric is 100. Okay, so it means if I remove my hand, it's supposed not to run. Okay, so now let it boot. Now after booting, you can see this is actually the phases. We have the phase 1, 2 and 3, and we have, this is the voltage and the amps and the motor. It starts at 100 and the stop is 121, but it's manual shutdown, so it will not stop. But the original pressure itself there is 135. Okay, we have videos also on how to just do the calibration also as well. And this is actually also the diesel engine. So this one, because okay, it's in off condition, you can see from here. So from here and from here also you can see it's off. All right, so putting it in auto, Okay, now it's in auto. Before, when it was off, because of the interfaces that has been connected, there was a signal inside the fire control panel that is showing that the system is in troubled condition. All right, now that this has been normalized, it's going to clear. So this is basically why we need the interfaces. All right, and this is the engine. It's also Clark. The make is from Clark. All right, it's a nice machine. It's a nice machine. And every pump room also has to have sprinkler box, spare sprinkler boxes, all right, with fire extinguishers we have here. Okay, the sprinkler box also has to have a sprinkler key also as well. Okay, these are the sprinklers that we have here. What type of sprinkler is this? Leave it at the comment. What is the name of this type of sprinkler that is here? Just write it under the comment section. And what about this? We need to have it's saying okay. And what about this? This is different, no? So just leave the names. The second one, this is the second one, so label that one the second one. Okay, label this one the second one, and let's see if we have the other type. Okay, and what of this type? What is this type? Okay, so the last one that we don't have here is the concealed type. Okay, so the rest, the third one, the second one, and the first one, just give me the names. The last one that we don't have here is the concealed. Okay, because inside the rooms they are using the other type. I don't want to mention the name, so just give me the answers in the comment section. This is Engineer's Guide. Please subscribe, share, like, and comment also as well, and just tell us of what we omitted so we can just be adding up. Oh, before I forget, I saw this here. Some call this concealed valve, some call this also pressure reducing valve. This is called casing reducing valve. A whole lot of names, but the function is what is important. Okay, so as the pump runs, let's say there is no any leak, the pump runs by itself. All right, and instead of the pump running and heating up the system, this actually it's set to a pressure that when it exceeds, it will just move water out of the system, so then it will keep the pump in a good condition. If not, you can destroy your impeller, all right, by heats only. All right, so the concealed valve or the casing relief valve, it's really important. It's mainly found on the electric. The diesel, most especially diesel, mostly is supposed to have what we call the release valve. This is the pressure release valve, but this system, the pressure is good, so I think they did not add that. So it's supposed to be after the, it's supposed to be before the check valve. So, but you can see that it's not there. All right, so let's see if it has a PRV also attached to it from this side. Come on, come with me. No, we don't have. All right, so we don't have that here. And this is actually the test line. This is on our previous video, we talked about the test line, how we use it, how to measure. And basically on our next video, we are going to do the testing and just release some water. Then please stay tuned, like, subscribe, and share. This is Engineer's Guide. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.